I really can't stand him. But I still have to put on a smile and say hi every day. It's exhausting. I've been holding back for so long. But today I finally lost my temper. Now things feel even more awkward. Just seeing him annoys me. But I can't avoid him. And it ruins my mood for the whole day. Have you ever felt the same way? When you have to deal with someone you dislike, you're afraid that confronting them might damage the relationship. Yet keeping quiet feels suffocating. In the end, you either bottle up your frustration or make things even tenser between you. But actually, there's a smarter way to handle this kind of dislike. Morita Therapy. What is Morita Therapy? Morita Therapy was developed by Japanese psychiatrist Shoma Morita, and its core principle can be summarized as: accept reality as it is, and do what needs to be done. In essence, it teaches us not to resist our emotions or try to control others, but to focus on taking constructive action regardless of how we feel. When applied to the feeling of disliking someone, it means acknowledging your emotion. I dislike this person, without letting that feeling dominate your behavior. You simply continue living and functioning as usual. Originally designed to treat obsessive-compulsive disorder and anxiety disorders, Morita Therapy has since been widely applied to everyday emotional regulation and stress management. Accept reality as it is means recognizing what has already happened and the emotions that have already arisen. For example, if you dislike someone, that feeling objectively exists. There's no need to force yourself to like them or to stop disliking them. Just acknowledge the emotion as it is. Do what needs to be done means that, regardless of your emotions, you continue to carry out your responsibilities. For instance, even if you dislike a coworker, you still cooperate to finish shared tasks. Don't let dislike disturb your own rhythm of life. The key idea of Morita Therapy is not to eliminate or fix emotions like dislike, but to coexist with them as natural parts of human experience. Just like the weather, sometimes sunny, sometimes rainy, our emotions shift between liking and disliking. There's no need to force every day to be sunny, nor to force yourself to like everyone. Allow your dislike to exist. Many people make a mistake at the very first step of dealing with dislike. They believe it's wrong to dislike someone and keep forcing themselves not to feel that way. But the more they suppress the emotion, the more they become preoccupied with it, until their mind is filled with thoughts about how unpleasant that person is. According to Morita Therapy, emotions arise naturally, just as hunger makes you want to eat, or fatigue makes you want to rest. Disliking someone is simply another natural emotional response, neither right nor wrong. When you allow yourself to experience that feeling, it actually loses much of its power over you. For example, if you dislike a coworker who often takes credit for your work, you don't have to force yourself to think, he has good qualities too, I should be more tolerant. Instead, simply acknowledge, I dislike the way he takes credit for what I do. Once you stop resisting your own emotions, you may notice the irritation beginning to fade on its own. The principle of emotional acceptance also suggests that deliberately suppressing emotions consumes a great deal of mental energy, while accepting them allows you to stay focused on what truly matters. It's like holding sand in your hand. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. Hold it gently, and it stays. It's the same with dislike. When you allow it to exist, it no longer clings to you so tightly. Some people may worry, if I allow myself to dislike someone, won't I become a worse person? In fact, the opposite is true. Acknowledging your dislike simply means facing your emotions honestly, not acting on them destructively. It's like recognizing hunger. Knowing you're hungry doesn't mean you'll steal someone's food, it just means you're aware. I need to eat. Other people's attitudes have nothing to do with you. When we dislike someone, we often can't help but think, why is he like this? Or, can't he just change? But in reality, another person's personality and behavior have little to do with you, and are rarely things you can control or change. Morita Therapy emphasizes the principle of not interfering with things beyond your control. A person may be unpleasant because of their upbringing or long-established habits, factors that a few complaints or arguments won't change. For example, if someone is naturally self-centered, no matter how much you dislike them, they won't suddenly become generous. If someone habitually speaks in a harsh tone, No amount of anger on your part will make them kind overnight. In psychology, locus of control theory distinguishes between two domains. Controllable, your own actions and responses. Uncontrollable, other people's actions and attitudes. Trying to change others is like trying to make the sun rise in the west. You are bound to end up disappointed. For instance, if you dislike someone's constant criticism and argue with them each time, they'll likely criticize even more, and you'll just grow angrier. But their behavior is their business. Whether you choose to listen, and whether you allow it to affect you, that's your business. Instead of asking, "Why are they always like this?" it's more helpful to ask, "How can I keep their behavior from affecting me?" Other people's attitudes and behaviors are like the wind and the rain. Natural phenomena. You can carry an umbrella to stay dry, but you cannot stop the rain from falling. Once you understand this, you'll stop wasting energy resisting the parts of others that you dislike. The wisest way to deal with it is to accept reality as it is and do what needs to be done. According to Morita Therapy, handling the feeling of disliking someone can be broken down into 4 simple steps. Each step is easy to understand, yet together they can help free you from unnecessary emotional distress. Step 1. Embrace your emotions. Naturally accept the feeling of dislike. When you notice that you dislike someone, avoid judging yourself as too petty or forcing yourself to be more generous. Instead, simply acknowledge, "I feel some dislike toward this person right now. And that's okay." For example, if that coworker you dislike starts bragging again during a meeting, you might silently say to yourself, "I really don't like how he behaves. But that's just how I feel. And that's fine." There's no need to immediately convince yourself that he has good sides too. Just accept the emotion as it is, in the present moment. Emotional acceptance doesn't mean you have to like the feeling. It means treating it like a guest. When it comes, let it come. Don't chase it away or hold on to it. Guests eventually leave, and emotions, too, will naturally fade with time. Step 2. Go with the flow. Don't force yourself to change others. There's a saying, changing yourself takes wisdom. Trying to change others is madness. In life, there are 3 kinds of people who simply aren't worth the effort to fix. Learning how to coexist with them peacefully is often the wiser choice. Relatives or colleagues you see fewer than 3 times a month. Their presence in your life is minimal, like background noise that doesn't truly affect your daily rhythm. Their opinions or behaviors aren't worth taking to heart. Let their words pass through you, in one ear and out the other. There's no need to waste emotional energy on people you barely interact with. Bosses or clients you have to deal with regularly. For people like this, rather than suppressing your frustration, it's better to establish an emotional stop-loss point. For example, allow yourself to vent about them for no more than 5 minutes a day. Just enough to release your irritation without letting negativity dominate your time. Once you've finished venting, take a breath, refocus, and return to what needs to be done. Don't let their behavior disrupt your own rhythm of life. People who insult or attack you personally. When you encounter someone who deliberately tries to hurt or humiliate you, don't waste your energy arguing. The most effective response is to protect yourself, either by setting clear boundaries or, if necessary, through formal or legal means. If you must interact with such a person, try to redirect their negativity rather than confront it head-on. For example, when they say something you disagree with, you can simply reply, "You're right," and smoothly change the subject. Or smile and say, "Didn't expect you to pay such close attention to me." Then remain silent. Let them wonder about your attitude. You can also say, "I'll think about that," and calmly get up to pour yourself a glass of water. Giving yourself a moment to breathe and regain composure. Step 3. Task separation. Focus on your own responsibilities. The concept of task separation comes from Adlerian psychology, and it's also deeply aligned with Morita Therapy. It means clearly distinguishing between what belongs to you and what belongs to others. In other words, understanding where your responsibility ends and another person's begins. When you find yourself disliking someone, remind yourself, how others act is their task, how I respond is mine. For example, if a coworker keeps gossiping about you, that's their issue. Whether you get angry or stay composed, that's your choice. You can't control their behavior, but you can control how much space their words take up in your mind. Focus on doing your part well, and stop taking on tasks that don't belong to you. When a conflict arises, pause and ask yourself two simple questions. Does this situation truly affect my core goals? Will my reaction actually change the outcome? By answering these questions, you'll quickly see whether the issue deserves your time and emotional energy. Most of the time, the answer is no, and that realization alone brings peace. Step 4. Do what needs to be done. Focus on your own actions and growth. Do what needs to be done is the central principle of Morita Theory. It means that regardless of how you feel, you continue to carry out your responsibilities and take meaningful action. When you keep your attention fixed on people or situations you dislike, every little thing they do will disturb your mood. The more you focus on them, the more unbearable they seem. And before long, you find yourself complaining or criticizing, which only drains your own energy. The most effective approach is to shift your attention away from them and back to yourself. To focus on the present moment and engage in something tangible and purposeful. For example, lose yourself in a good book, or immerse yourself fully in your work until you reach a flow state. In that state, external distractions fade, and your mind becomes calm and clear. When you finish, you'll feel a quiet satisfaction, the kind that comes from genuine focus and self-discipline. The more you concentrate on your own growth, the less those external irritations will matter. When you encounter people you dislike, don't waste time trying to change them. The only person you can truly change is yourself. Keep strengthening yourself, keep improving, and quietly rise to a higher level. Once you're strong enough, those people you once disliked won't even be able to reach your shadow. Disliking someone is completely normal. There's no need to feel guilty about it or to force yourself to change that feeling. Morita Therapy teaches that the wisest way to deal with feelings of dislike is neither to confront them head-on nor to suppress them, but to acknowledge your emotions, refrain from being entangled in them, and continue doing what needs to be done. It's like encountering a stone on the road. You don't have to move it. You might not even be able to. And you don't have to stand there glaring at it either. You can simply walk around it and keep moving forward. The stone remains where it is, but it no longer blocks your path. In life, you will inevitably meet people you dislike, but you can choose not to let them occupy your mind or drain your energy. Focus on your own path. Do your work well. Keep growing. As you become stronger, you'll realize that the people you once disliked were never really worth your attention. Remember, your time and energy are precious. Don't waste them on dislike. Allow it when it arises. Do what needs to be done, and keep moving forward. That's the wisest way to live responsibly for yourself.